Hello, welcome to week 2 of the Three Rivers Pantry Challenge. It is already Monday. I've been trying to do like Sunday to Saturday, and I'm like, nope, this week we're going to start on Monday. It's just how life goes, right? So, for breakfast, my son made eggs for everybody. I was not able to film that. There wasn't anything to film by the time I got to the kitchen. And 2, Monday mornings I have a little bit extra computer work that I have to get done, and so breakfast is handed off to the first kid I see, and it's like, go make something for breakfast. So if you're new to my channel, I am a mom of 5 children. I have kids ranging from 15 years old down to 6. I babysit extra kids, and so one of the things that I try really hard is to raise up children that can do things like house cleaning and cooking and all of that. So, and it works really well for times like this when I need somebody to help mommy out a little bit. So, son made eggs for breakfast. We're doing this pantry to make sure that we rotate a lot of the food that we get from our food pantries and just make sure that none of that is getting kind of pushed to the back and not used. Yesterday's video, last night's meal that is in last week's video, I used up some cans that I had that I really wanted to make sure that they got used, including a spaghetti sauce. The other thing that I really want to use up this week is another can of spaghetti sauce. Okay, so that was breakfast. This is the introduction. Let me go show you what we're having for lunch. Alright, here is lunch. I purchased this for such a time as this. I mainly got these for quick and easy lunches when I had 2 things coming up. But I went the first week and it went pretty good. This week I'm starting to like add a little bit more of chewy things into it, and it's been a struggle. But I thought this might be something still soft, so I used three of these boxes up, and then I just added some of the Smokies that I picked up from the Amish salvage store, and that haul should be up already. So this is what is for lunch. The kid I babysit, actually both the kids that I babysit, ended up having mac and cheese. Alright, I will see you at dinner. Well, it is January 10th. My daughter made breakfast this morning. It's a huge help and a blessing. I remember about a year and a half ago, I was getting some very interesting comments on my videos about how I'm ruining my kids' childhood by making them do chores and whatnot. I even ended up with a discussion with a local woman about how, you know, you need to let them enjoy their childhood. They don't need the stress of work. And I'm just like, no, we all have our different opinions, and this is mine. And so it's been a huge blessing to me to raise children that can do these things. Because like my daughter today was like, I'm going to make breakfast. Didn't ask her nothing. She just decided to do it. Even down to making the brown sugar. Okay. I have babysitting hours going. Bring it down a notch, please. I'm just going to step over here. One of the beautiful things about doing a pantry challenge is kind of assessing what you have, and sometimes that means that you can make some things that maybe you don't make that often. And I'm going to be doing that today. It's actually one of our favorite recipes. I have some zucchini that's going to go bad, and I've been sauteing it, but I can't chew it, and it's mainly my husband and I that really like the sauteed zucchini. So I'm actually going to make one of our favorite muffins, which is a zucchini muffin, but I'm going to add some blueberries to it because we have all those blueberries in the freezer from the food pantry. I cannot share this particular recipe with you. I've mentioned this in other videos, but if you're new to my channel, I'll repeat why here. It is actually one of my best friend's recipes. She has spent time adapting it and making it work for like low carb and from Healthy Mama and all of that. And she has designs to one day have a food blogging site. that's one of her dreams. So when that happens, I will share that recipe with you, and I can't wait to do that. But for now, I will find something that I think is pretty comparable, and I will leave that down below. So I'm going to be making this recipe as just kind of a snack. I don't do snacks this often, so again, it's really nice just to have a just a fun treat. And so I was watching a video today where they were saying that during this challenge they're like a little bit more tight and careful, and I understand that. But I think at the same time I like to almost say how creative can we get with what we have and maybe do a treat thing, because it is more tight, if that makes sense. So that's mainly why I got on here to talk. I'm going to make make this recipe into muffins, and then I'll share that with you here in just a second. I'm going to use these water glass that I've put up, and I thought I would share kind of our experience with water glass. My husband has graciously asked that I not do this again. So the first one we pulled out had, do you remember how many cracked eggs were in?
I think it was like 3 or 4.
Well, no, that was the total bad eggs, but that wasn't cracked eggs. There was at least 1 or 2 cracked eggs, which happens, but when we were cracking the eggs, there was a couple that just didn't seem right. So, and yes, I made sure that I got fresh, unwashed eggs, and I did this according to the right proportions. And he's just like, this is a lot of work to make sure that they're clean when you take them out, not when you put them in, obviously. And then just the cracked eggs and whatnot. So he got the first jar. This is the second jar, and I'm not seeing as much of the issues that he did. But I don't know if we'll do it again just from that aspect alone. Okay, so I have 2 water glass eggs. I'm going to mainly use these eggs for my baking, just because I think my family would prefer that. This is, from what I understand, is completely normal to have your runny eggs like this. So, just wanted to share that. Alright, so for lunch today, everybody was allowed to choose a soup they wanted. So here's a chicken and wild rice that did not get eaten. The beef stews that we got from the mobile food pantries, those are what mainly everybody chose. They're in my food pantry haul videos. So that's kind of what we did for lunch. This was not eaten, so I'll probably just eat that. I also took out one of my soups from the freezer, so it's almost fully defrosted. It's the cauliflower one that I've been putting aside. And I'm using the leftover oatmeal. Oh, and there was, there was also those zucchini muffins anybody could have. Those are so good. But right now I'm taking the leftover oatmeal from breakfast, and I'm making a leftover oatmeal cake using this recipe. See if I can find it and link it below, but I've just had this for a while. There you go. And it's pretty simple. There you go. I'm using a little bit of the zucchini I have left. I have some for dinner. I'm just putting a little bit in here. And I'm going to make it a raisin leftover oatmeal bake. And this will be breakfast tomorrow. Tomorrow's food truck, so I'm not home in the morning. So that'll be great to have on hand for everybody, and we're using up leftovers. Okay, so for dinner tonight, I will show you one of the simple, easy recipes that I make when I have some leftover ham. I've peeled some potatoes. This is not enough. I'm going to have to do 2 batches. But these are peeled and roughly chopped. I just needed to see how much more I will need. This is always a hit with my family, so I might have to make a second pan. But this is my 9x13. This is from Food Trucks. I've had it in my freezer. We made some potato soup out of that. I'm just going to put about that much. I think this is... Yeah, that's it.
8 by 8.
Okay, let me get another batch of potatoes going, and then we'll add some ham to that. Okay, so got a little ahead of myself. So I put the onion. I did a red onion because if it's a little bit raw, that'll be fine. I have the onion in here. I have the potatoes. I have the ham that we discussed. And then I made a basic white sauce. And I did that by melting a half a stick of butter. I used about a third of gluten-free flour. And kind of got that to a texture where then I added a half a cup of, I have lactose-free milk from the kid I babysit. I just used a half a cup of that because all of my like almond milk and oat milk, those are all unsweetened with vanilla, and I didn't want a vanilla taste in this. So I added half a cup of milk. I added about 1 to 1.5 cups of chicken broth and about a teaspoon of black pepper. And the chicken broth I think has enough salt, and we can always add more salt. Then I poured that over here. We shredded some Gouda cheese in here. And then just to kind of flavor it, I have some smoked paprika. And I'm just going to kind of lightly, hopefully, this is where I tend to just end up with a bazillion teaspoons in my thing. But we're just going to kind of lightly put some paprika in here. One of the things that go really well with potatoes is dill, so I'll top it with a little bit of dill, a little bit of parsley, cover it with some aluminum foil to kind of help keep the heat in and not let it escape too much. Put it in the oven at 350 for about 30 minutes, and then while that's going, I'm going to go get some broccoli cooking because this tastes really, really good with broccoli, and that's going to be dinner tonight. This is portion size. That was another thing people are asking. Here is my teen daughter who's going to eat a whole pan for herself. And here's my other daughter who made a bowl. There's also broccoli up on the counter. This is my husband's bowl. You don't like much. I'm going to put you in. You don't like many. Okay. You don't like much carbohydrates, right?
No.
So you would.
Vegetables, they can eat all the like the leafy green type and non-high carbohydrate ones, but the other ones give me more.
You just don't want to eat many of the carbohydrate vegetables. So, can you show me your portion size? There we go. Do you think you'll go for seconds?
I will.
You probably will. So I'm here in my kitchen. I'm making some of this food up that we got from the food pantry. And my sister wanted to make a roasted salsa for her and my other sister. So we went to the store. She got the chips. She got what she needed, green bell pepper. It needed a green bell pepper. The recipe we were using used jalapenos. We didn't really want a hot, spicy salsa. It needed a green pepper. So I broke my no spend January in order to use some of the food that we got from the food pantry. I bought some bell peppers because I don't have any, and I bought some cilantro. So I also don't have any, and I bought some chips. So I spent $12 at the grocery store today. I spent $12 in January. Roasted tomato salsa. We made a batch for her already, and it was delicious. So I'm going to make one for us, and it'll be really good to go with dinner tonight, and good snack, whatever. And then we're using up some of these cherry tomatoes we got. Well, hello. Today is Wednesday. It's food check day, which means I didn't film anything for meals, and it's now almost dinner time, and I realized, oh, I'm filming meals for this week. So I have this baked oatmeal. I think I talked about this yesterday, but I don't remember. This is leftover oatmeal, and I added some raisins to it, and I added some apples. So it's like an apple raisin leftover oatmeal. This is what's left from breakfast for feeding 5 kids. My husband and I don't do it. We don't really eat breakfast.
Lunch was some leftover Brussels sprouts that we had, and we put that with some of the ham that was left over from the 2 casseroles that I made last night. So some, like my husband had that, my daughter had that. That might have been it. There really wasn't a whole lot of that, so that might have gotten us 2 portions. Some of us are eating the rest of this, so I had some of that, and I think the son had that. I made peanut butter and honey sandwich for the kid I babysit, and my 2 youngest ended up with one of those as well, because that's what they wanted, and I was honestly like, yeah, sure, whatever, I'm in the middle of cooking. So that's what we did for lunch. That's what we did for breakfast. I'm going to get started on dinner, and then I will share with you what we are having for dinner. So dinner tonight is because this little girl, who's not so little anymore, requested egg roll in a bowl when she saw all these cabbages. So that's what I made. And we gave a portion to the older couple that brought us some more food. Just thought they would enjoy it. So that's dinner tonight. It used 1 pound of ground pork. It was actually the one that I got from the food pantry last week that, as a great sister, I forgot to give to my siblings. And then I was like, well, it's already defrosted and it's here. We're just going to use it. So I ended up using that. There is some onions from the food pantry, some cabbage from the food pantry, some carrots from the food pantry, and some ginger from the food pantry in here. For my own fridge, I added soy sauce and salt and pepper and just a little bit of chicken broth to make sure that it cooks well. And this is what's for dinner. I am down 1 kid tonight, so this will feed the other 6 of us. And I don't expect there to be any leftovers. And this is a pretty big cast iron pan. This is, I think, a 24-inch. I'm not sure, but it's like the biggest one you can get. So there we go. That's dinner tonight on Wednesday. I forgot. I also made some roasted cherry tomato salsa. So there are chips and salsa for anybody that wants it. All right, it is Thursday, January 12th. We had that cranberry orange bread for breakfast. I think a couple of the boys made some eggs too, but not everybody was hungry. And then for lunch, I am making, with the leftover roasted chicken, I'm making some chicken salad. And we can put that on some of the lettuce we got from the mobile food pantry, or corn tortillas. I think a couple of the younger ones are just going to do cheese quesadillas. That's all they want. And then I've been peeling and cutting up some carrots and some cheese and things like that. So that's what we're going to have for lunch. Okay, so for dinner we are having cabbage soup. I did this using some cherry tomatoes that I got from the mobile food pantry. I did a short video on this with a food pantry haul, so I'll leave that link down below. I will try to remember to leave the recipe link down below, but it is in that video. So I do mine just a little bit differently. So I have this cooked like this, but I like to cook my rice separately, and I'll add it in at the last minute. I just think that the rice cooks so much better that way, and that's just how I do things. And then I have this rice that I can turn around and use for fried rice, which is one of my kids' favorite meals. So that will be all ready for them. All right, to top the cabbage soup, I'm adding some of this salad greens. What is this called? This is the one that I don't like as much, and I can't think of the word. Iceberg lettuce. This is some iceberg lettuce. This is some sour cream, and 1 avocado that I had in the fridge. I remember purchasing this just to kind of have some higher good fat for my mouth, and I haven't used it, and it would go so well with dinner tonight. So I cut one up. I wish I had 2, but we have 1, and this is what's going to be for dinner tonight. I don't always share desserts when I make them, but I did tonight. These are what they call depression oatmeal cookies, and
it's made with bacon fat instead of like a butter or shortening or anything. And I had plenty of bacon fat, and so I made these, and then I used a bunch of these little raisin boxes that I got from the mobile food pantry, and some oatmeal that somebody gave us, and it's just going to be a nice little treat. But I also have it for the kids I babysit. So we'll have some tonight, and then we will have some tomorrow, and that's just a sweet little treat for everybody. I will try to leave the recipe linked in the description box below. Today is Friday, and on Fridays I am not able to film pretty much all day because I have kids babysitting, and it's piano lesson day, and so on and so forth. So breakfast was smoothies and muffins, lunch was fried rice, and here's dinner. We have some canned corn, Brussels sprouts cooked in some bacon grease, but there wasn't a lot, so I added about a cup of chicken broth and about a tablespoon of spicy brown mustard. It really flavors Brussels sprouts well.
Yum, yum, yum.
We have twice baked potatoes. And because I did a brilliant thing and touched a very hot pan and burned my fingers, my wonderful husband deboned a whole chicken for me. So we have some whole chicken to go along with dinner. And that's our meals for Friday. And I have no idea what... I have no idea.
These are good, by the way.
Of course they are. They're twice baked potatoes. Alright, that's dinner tonight. And that is not Starbucks. We put our dumpster scraps in here. So those are all the chicken skins. And that's stuff for tomorrow. And liver for my husband.
Ooh.
Lovely. And that's the last of the grape jello. Alright, for breakfast this morning, we are doing a lot of food pantry items. I hope you can hear me. We have eggs from the food pantry. I made this berry sauce with berries from the food pantry. We have blueberries, blackberries, and raspberries on here. We have some pancakes here. And there was not enough for me, but we also made some sausages that I got from Aldi in that big haul. And that is what is for brunch on this Saturday. Okay, it is Sunday evening, and yesterday we were pretty much gone all day. I did make a brunch. Dinner ended up, we ended up eating out for dinner. My sister paid for it. We were out of town, and yeah, all that fun stuff. So today is Sunday, and I typically have my sisters over for Sunday dinner. So today is Sunday, and for breakfast, it's whatever you can grab and eat before we head out to church. So that was cereal. Lunch is leftovers, whatever you can find and eat. And then I will show you a clip of what we had for dinner. I made Farmhouse on Boone chicken pot pie with Bob's Red Mill biscuits on top. And then we're going to have a berry crumble for dessert using all of the freezer berries that we have received from the mobile food pantry. And that will wrap up this week for what we've eaten using the 3 Rivers challenge of eating from your pantry and trying not to grocery shop, wrapping up week 2. Alright, so let's talk about week 2 because I did do a brief grocery haul. I was completely out of oat milk, and so I went to my Amish salvage store and ended up picking up some other things since I was out and about. And yeah, my total, I believe, came to about $14. No, that was a different store. So I had 2. That was the 14. I did go grocery shopping this week and spent $14. I got peppers and cilantro, bananas, and some other things. And I spent $14. And then on top of that, I went to the Amish salvage store and I spent $35 there. Picking up oat milk for $1 a piece, but also some other foods. $10 of that was not mine. I picked up stuff for my sister, so that brought my total down to $25. However, if we add the stuff that I've made earlier this week, it brings it back up. Okay, so staying out of the grocery stores, yep, that is a fail, but we're still working through what we have. For tonight's dinner, let me bring it right back around to that. For tonight's dinner, I used a can of spinach from the food pantry, 2 cans of carrots from the mobile food pantry, a can of peas from the mobile food pantry, and a can of corn from the mobile food pantry.
We had baked chicken the other night. I think I shared that with you guys. So I used leftover chicken for tonight's dinner, and just made a basic white sauce. Okay, that's it for this video, and I will see you in the next.